What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. Just wanted to show you guys some new bullets from Cutting Edge. As you guys know, I have a partnership with Cutting Edge, and I do have a promo code. Unfortunately, I cannot share it on YouTube. I've done a lot of testing with Cutting Edge bullets, Safari solids. I've tested their 10mm solids, their 44 Magnum solids, their 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum solids, their 4570 solids, their 416 Ruger solids, and their 375 Ruger solids. And also for the 300 Win Mag and 300 Rum, I've tested their Safari solids. So I have done a lot of testing with their Safari solids, and they are amazing bullets, and I highly recommend them. If you're going to be hunting anywhere in an area where there's large predators or even just large grass feeders that can trample you and gore you and stomp you. Okay, so this is my custom built CZ550 chambered in 338 Lapua. This was built by my local gunsmith, and this is a KNP barrel, 26-inch barrel, Cerakoted, and my gunsmith put on these iron sights, backup iron sights from New England Custom Guns, Silencer Co. Hybrid 46, and I can get amazing velocities and energies with this CZ550 receiver. I can get close to 6,000 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, probably about 200 feet per second or more over the standard 338 Lapua loadings, okay, because that CZ550 receiver is just so strong, it can take the pressure no problem at all. And so I want to just show you guys Cutting Edge's new bullets for the 338 Lapua. They have 300 grain solids and 260 grain solids. Okay, they're made from copper, and what's nice about them is they have a flat nose with a very slight bevel at the nose, which helps for feeding. Okay, if this was just a pure cylinder, it would be tough to feed, but this feeds really well. These are awesome. So I'm just developing some loads right now with the 300 grain and the 260 grain solids. They sent me a bunch of them a few months back. I want to just give a big thanks to Samantha at Cutting Edge for hooking me up with all these bullets. I'm going to load a whole bunch of them and test them out rigorously, as I always do, testing them in various mediums. So be on the lookout for that. But right now I'm just developing some initial hand loads, and I've already gotten about 2,950 feet per second with the 300 grain solids, and now I'm going to shoot the 260 grain solids. But I want to just show you guys how good the groups are at 100 yards with just these initial hand loads. These are the first hand loads I've developed, and I'm already getting like easily a 1 MOA group at 100 yards, which is plenty for what you're going to be using these for. Okay, you're not going to be shooting these long range. These are for close encounters, max 200 yards. If, let's say, you're in Alaska hunting caribou with your 338 Lapua, like I plan to do with Chuck from Alaskan Ballistics at some point. I've been wanting to go for the last 3 years, just haven't had a chance. But when I go to Alaska to hunt caribou, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of these with me and mix them in my magazine box, okay? So I'll have, let's say, the first two will be my hunting bullets, which are going to be the 280 grain LRX bullets, loaded to around 3,075 feet per second. That's my favorite load with this rifle. And that'll be the first two, one in the chamber, one in the magazine, in case I need a follow-up. And then behind those are going to be solids, okay? So if, let's say, I'm dealing with a charging grizzly in Alaska, okay, I got the first two with the LRX bullets, which, you know, I'll dump at the bear as it's charging. If that doesn't work, I'll have these, which can penetrate from any angle straight through the bear. Okay, so this is what you want to bring with you if you're hunting in grizzly country or even in areas where you could get stomped by something like a Cape buffalo. If you want to bring your 338 Lapua to Africa for plains game hunting or something like that, for croc, and then you run into some Cape buffalo, you can keep some of these handy. Okay, so highly recommend you guys get some of these, and they make them for 300 Win Mag. You can get the 210 grain and the 180 grain for the 300 Win Mag. Now with these bullets, I recommend you don't load them too hot. Okay, ideally you don't want them to go over 3,000 feet per second, because what will happen is the nose will start to deform a little bit more as you get closer to 3,000 feet per second or over 3,000 feet per second. Especially the nose will deform a little bit more, and that'll reduce your penetration, maybe by 20 to 30%, because I have tested these with my 300 rum, and I found out that with the 300 rum pushing these like 300 or 400 feet per second faster than my 300 Win Mag, they actually penetrated a little bit less than the 300 Win Mag, with the 210 grain solids going like 2,600, 2,700 feet per second will just penetrate through anything. Okay, so you know, ideally you want to be like 2,600 to 3,000 feet per second. You don't want to go too much on the velocity side with these, okay, because it's not a long range cartridge. Okay, you're just trying to penetrate at close range inside of 200 yards. So just wanted to give you guys a first look at these 338 Lapua Safari solids from Cutting Edge. If you have a 338 Lapua, this is what you want to use. I would imagine these could work with 338 Win Mag. If you use the 260 grain solids, that would work for a 338 Win Mag. But for the 338 Lapua, I would recommend the 300 grain solids. Okay, so check out their website. Unfortunately, I can't share that in this video. It's Cutting Edge, BULLETS. So stay tuned to my channel in the coming weeks, and we're going to be seeing how these perform. Check out some of my other tests with these bullets so you can see how they perform in other cartridges, other rifles. But I've had really good results with them. So if you got a 338 Win Mag, get you the 260 grain solids, 338 Lapua or something similar, 338 rum, get you the 300 grain solids. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the groups, but so far with the 300 grain solids, I'm already getting like 29.25, 29.50 for velocity. I think that's probably perfect. I don't want to go too much more. So let me just show you the groupings at 100 yards, and then that'll be it for the video. All right, guys, we got the 260 grains now. 3071. $30.82. And I think we had an error there. 42.55. I don't think that's right. All right, guys. So we had 30.86 and 30.71. I'd say that's good enough. I could go up a little bit more, maybe another 100 feet per second, but I don't want to go too fast with these. I think these are better for like a 338 Win Mag, like I was saying. But let me just show you guys my groups at 100 yards. All right, guys, wanted to show you my 100-yard groups. So here was with the 260 grain solid, and then these two here were with the 300 grain solid, so about 1 MOA maybe slightly less. So that's good enough for what these bullets were made for, which is for bear protection, dangerous game protection at close distances. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more videos with the 338 Lapua cutting edge solids.